starts right there with number 3. With the pressure, there it is.
Gets the takeaway.
Okay. Oh, are you serious? Slam, jam, bam. Get him ready for the NBA dunking contest. You can't teach what he possesses, the physicality.
Remember when Zion Williamson was dunking from the free throw line and breaking backboards? Now look at him. The guy who was once called fat, lazy, and a bust has transformed into something nobody expected. This shocking new version of Zion isn't just changing his career, it's sending a warning to the entire NBA. Back in 2016, Zion Williamson burst onto the scene as a viral high school sensation. This teenager was getting millions of views online, dunking on everyone, and showing off crazy athleticism that nobody his size should have. When he got to Duke, he dominated even harder, averaging 22.6 points and making college players look like they didn't belong on the same court. Standing 6 feet 6 inches with a 45-inch vertical leap, Zion entered the 2019 NBA draft as the most hyped rookie since LeBron. Everyone was calling him the next big thing. The New Orleans Pelicans didn't hesitate to make him the #1 pick, but what started as a promising career quickly became a cautionary tale. And now, after years of struggles, Zion's incredible transformation is sending a clear message to the entire NBA. Nobody saw this coming, and everyone was paying attention. From day one, Zion's weight was a hot topic. At 284 pounds as a rookie, people were already concerned. Stephen A. Smith put it bluntly, "It's one thing to be 7 feet tall and weigh that much, but at 6 feet 6 inches, moving like a Mack truck? That's a problem." Zion didn't see it that way at first. He thought his size was an advantage. "My body is just built differently," he'd say. "People aren't used to guarding someone like me." But the warning signs were flashing bright red. His rookie year was derailed by injuries. He made the All-Star team at just 20 years old in his second season, but then the real problems started. Foot injuries, a missed entire season, a hamstring issue limited him to just 29 games when he finally returned. Let's be real, Zion was getting fat. He wasn't the same athletic marvel we saw at Duke. Everyone could see it. The eye test said he was pushing well over 320 pounds, way above his listed weight. Things got so bad that the Pelicans put a weight clause in his 2022 contract extension. Stay under 295 pounds or lose millions. This wasn't just about money. It was about saving what could be one of the greatest careers before it completely fell apart. Zion heard all the noise about his weight, but often got defensive. When people criticized his size, he wasn't upset about the fat jokes. He was angry that people called him lazy. "I put in the work," he'd insist. He felt the criticism was unfair, especially when he was battling injuries. "If it comes from a great place and people just want to see me do better, thank you," Zion once said about the criticism. "But if it comes from anywhere else, everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Can't control that." The 2023-24 season showed just how bad things had gotten. Despite looking fit in some off-season photos, Zion showed up looking like he'd been enjoying way too much New Orleans gumbo. The numbers told the whole story. As a rookie, almost 18% of his shots were dunks. In his All-Star season, it was still a healthy 13%, but last season, down to just 8%. Instead of those monster jams that made him famous, he was laying the ball in softly, a clear sign he'd lost that explosive bounce. Shaq, who knows a thing or two about weight battles, called Zion the biggest wild card on the team. He said Zion needed to dominate every night, get more rebounds, score more points, and play with force every single time down the court. Right now, he was just too inconsistent. Kenny Smith broke it down even simpler. When you're not in shape, you miss plays. You can't sprint back on defense to get that big block. You can't jump into passing lanes for steals. You're just not where you need to be when your team needs you. The reality hit home during the 2023 in-season tournament when the Pelicans faced the Lakers. LeBron, pushing 39 years old, completely outplayed 23-year-old Zion in energy and production. The oldest guy in the league looking younger than someone who should be in his prime? That's embarrassing. Stephen A. went off after that game. He pointed out Zion's visible belly bounce when he took a deep breath. Here was a team losing by 44 points, and their supposed star player looked like he'd just come from an all-you-can-eat buffet. The word around New Orleans was that local chefs were excited whenever Zion visited their restaurants. The joke was that he wouldn't just order from the menu, he'd eat the table too. But it wasn't just about being overweight. Where was the fire? The killer instinct? The desire to take over games? Zion was standing at a crossroads. Keep going this way and waste his talent, or make a change that would shock everyone. Something clicked near the end of last season. Despite all the jokes and criticism, Zion started showing signs of life, averaging almost 25 points in his final 20 games. The conditioning problems were fading as he quietly put in the work. What nobody knew was that Zion had reached his breaking point. Tired of the criticism, tired of letting his team down, tired of not living up to his potential, he decided to take control of his body once and for all. Behind closed doors, he completely overhauled his diet, changed his training regimen, and committed to becoming the player he was always meant to be. Then came his statement game, dropping 40 points against the Lakers in the play-in tournament. He pushed so hard that he got injured in the process, but finally, there was the aggressiveness everyone had been begging to see. Even his biggest critics had to admit they were impressed. For the first time in years, people were saying, "Hey, this guy might actually be a star after all." But nobody was prepared for what happened next. During the offseason, while staying out of the spotlight, a photo emerged from Zion's basketball camp. It showed a completely different person, a slim, fit athlete posing with kids. This wasn't the same guy who'd been mocked for his weight all year. Fans immediately started joking that Ozempic Zion had discovered weight loss drugs. Whether that's true or not doesn't really matter. What matters is, this young man had completely transformed his body into the best shape of his entire life. Even his harshest critics had to step back and say they were proud of him. This was the transformation nobody thought possible. This new version of Zion Williamson is a walking warning to the entire NBA. His physical transformation itself is the message. Actions speak louder than words, and his new body is shouting at the league. When asked about his dramatic weight loss, Zion was direct. "I'm done talking. I'm going to let my play do the talking now." That's the warning. That the unfocused, out-of-shape Zion is gone, replaced by someone who's finally serious about maximizing his generational talent. If he stays in this shape throughout the 2024 to 2025 season, we're about to see something scary. Sure, he might lose a bit of the bulldozer strength that let him push people around in the paint. But he's trading that for something much more valuable: availability, durability, and explosiveness. When he's running the floor at full speed and dunking before defenders can even react, that's way more dangerous than someone who can barely stay on the court for half a season. This physical transformation is Zion's response to everyone who called him fat and lazy. It's his revenge tour. His message to the league is crystal clear: "I'm back to claim my spot as an all-star and show you why I was the #1 pick." This goes beyond just one player's comeback story. It shows every young player in the league that talent isn't enough. You must take care of your body. You must be professional. Even the most gifted athletes must put in the work or risk throwing it all away. This is the version of Zion everyone's been waiting for since 2019. We've seen the potential, we've seen the struggles. Now we're about to see if he can maintain this discipline throughout the full season and beyond. If he can, the NBA better watch out. What do you think about Zion's transformation? Can he keep it up all season, or will he slip back into old habits? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button and subscribe for more NBA stories that go beyond the highlights.